Udita Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Gadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapadakam Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagarjatam Sagana Raghunadanitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Deva Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusate Devi Pranamami Haripriya Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kapasindabhya Echpadatanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namah Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Ram Hare Hare. So the 16th chapter we covered till 20th verse. We'll cover 21st to 24th. This will be a short section and a short class today. So this chapter is titled The Divine and Demonic Natures. So it gives us an understanding how to develop divine nature. Right? So let's read. So the last session was mostly about demonic nature. What qualities should be avoided? So let's read this verse. I can read with me. Asurim yonim apanna.
Asurim yonim apanna.
Mudha janmani janmani.
Mudha janmani.
Mama prapyaiva kaunteya.
Mama kaunteya.
Tato yanti adamam gatim.
Tato yanti adamam gatim.
Yeah, please read. Translation.
Attaining repeated birth amongst the spices of demonic life, O son of Kunti, such persons can never approach me. Gradually, they sink down to the most abominable type of existence.
Yeah. So, so the last verses, if you see, those who are envious and mischievous, who are lowest among men, I perpetually cast into the ocean of material existence into various demonic species of life. So these are people, who have. So the previous verse says that bewildered by false ego, strength, pride, lust, anger, the demons become envious of God, who is situated in their own bodies and in the bodies of others, and blaspheme against the real religion. So people who are falsely proud, filled with the lust, anger, so such qualities, they do not anchor to God, right? So they blaspheme, God and religion, right? So this is the nature of the demonic people. Yeah. So to them, what happens? Krishna says, attaining repeated birth among the species of demonic life. So they are cast into the demonic low forms of life again and again, right? Such persons can never approach me. They'll never be able to approach God, because until they get rid of those bad qualities, they cannot approach God. Gradually, they sink down to the most abominable types of existence. So their consciousness goes down. Right? So overall, they simply waste their lifetime. So that is the nature of demonic life. Somebody has demonic qualities. Yeah. Please read this.
It is known that God is all merciful, but here we find that God is never merciful to the demonic. It is clearly stated that the demonic people, life after life, are put into the wombs of similar demons and are not achieving the mercy of the Supreme Lord. They go down, so that at last they achieve bodies like those of cats, dogs, hawks. It is clearly stated that such demons have practically no chance of receiving the mercy of God at any stage of life. In the Vedas, also, it is stated that such persons gradually sink to become dogs and hawks. It may be then argued in his connected that God should not be advised all as all merciful if he is not merciful to such demons. In answer to this question in the Vedanta Sutra, we find that the Supreme Lord has no hatred for anyone. The placing of the asuras, the demons, in the lowest status of life is simply another feature of his mercy. Sometimes the asuras are killed by the Supreme Lord, but this killing is also good for them. For in Vedic literature, we find that anyone who killed by the Supreme Lord becomes liberated. There are instances in history of many asuras, Ravana, Kamsa, Hiranyakasipu, to whom the Lord appeared in various incarnations just to kill them. Therefore, God's mercy is shown to the asuras if they are fortunate enough to be killed by him.
Yeah. So we understand God is all merciful. How is that, people of demonic nature are, thank you. People of demonic nature are punished in this way, right? So actually, it is also the kindness of God. It's not like God is not merciful because of this action. It is also kind of mercy of the Lord. So otherwise, they will rot in this material existence if they are not punished. It's like sometimes some children are very naughty, they misbehave, they beat other kids. Then will the parent be okay, my child, whatever he does, I'm okay with that? Will he do like that? Will the parent not punish the child so that he will behave properly next time? What do you all think?
We will teach
We
them
have to
lesson.
Yeah.
punish them.
It's the duty of the parent to punish and correct the child, correct?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah, even though all these naughty children, demons are also not like, from God's perspective, he's also a child of God only. It's not that he's very happy when the demons are getting punished. He's also actually, God is very kind to everyone, including demons. He's the one who is feeding them. Even though they're saying there is no God, let it be. Just like a parent, even though the child is not at all obliged, still the parent loves him, irrespective he provides food, even though the demon claims to that there is no God, or God is not merciful. Still, God is the feeder, God is the maintainer. But at the same time, for a child who is misbehaving, God wants to correct them so that next time they don't repeat the mistake. That is also kindness. It's also mercy, correct? Do you all understand? Is that making sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, Prabhuji.
So Krishna is saying here, after repeated birth among the species of demonic life, O son of Kunti, such persons can never approach me. Gradually, they sink down to the most abominable types of existence. They sink down to the most abominable types of existence. So this is also kindness of God. Yeah. So God killing them also liberates them. That's how Ravana, Kamsa, Hiranyakasipu, they were punished, but it is for their own good because they will get liberation by that. Trividham narakasyedham
Trividam
Idam
naraka
narakakaistya.
dvaram nashanam atmanaha
Varam
Varam nasanam atmanaha. Atmanaha.
kamah krodhastata lobhas
Kamakrodastasa lobas.
tasmad etatrayam chajet.
Tasmat etatrayam trayate.
Please read.
There are 3 gates leading to this hell: lust, anger, and greed. Every how do you put?
Sane man.
Every sane man should give these up, for they lead to the degradation of the soul.
So 3 gates lead to the hell. That's what Krishna is saying. What are the 3 gates? Lust, anger, and greed. Right? First, it all begins with lust. Lust means what? You're passing on the road, you saw some nice car. You suddenly, what happens? If you like cars and you saw a nice car,
Passion.
huh?
Passion, right?
Yeah, you develop a
Desire, that
desire.
is passion, right?
Maybe I should get that. Maybe I should also own such kind of car sometime in my future life, right? Maybe after down the few years, maybe I can have some similar car. The desire arises, correct? So that is called lust. Lust means desiring something, strong desire to achieve something. If you get, what happens if you get what you want? Will you be happy with that car?
No, Prabhu, the desire to get more.
Suppose you are in a Ford car and tomorrow you saw somebody going in Tesla, you also went on in that Tesla, you like that car, you desired that. Maybe after a couple of years you got that car. Then suddenly you saw somebody going in BMW car. What happens then? You already got it, but now you want something even better. Why not have that BMW car? Right? Is that correct?
Yes, Prabhuji.
So if you get something that you desire, your lust is fulfilled, then what happens? You want more. That is
More
called
and
greed.
more.
That is called greed. You have a house. You have a good house, but you saw somebody having even much better house with much better facilities, more space, more rooms, more cupboards. You start thinking, oh, I should someday move to this home. That is called greed. If your lust is fulfilled, you will become greedy. If your lust is not fulfilled, what happens? You desired something, but your plan got, totally flopped. You lost, you lost money, or you lost something and you couldn't fulfill your desire. Then you become
Angry.
angry. Yeah. So these 3 are related: lust, anger, and greed. You first desire material things, looking at others. Oh, I want to have something like that. And if you fulfill after some time, you are not satisfied. You are always looking for something better. That is called greed. So the root problem is what? Lust, desiring material enjoyment. I want this. I can be happy if I have this. If you ever think like that in this world, you are never going to be happy, because lust can never be fulfilled. Lust is like fire, and you fulfill your lust by, is like pouring oil in it. If you pour oil, what happens? Will the fire increase or reduce? It will only increase, correct? So lust is like fire, it will burn you. You have to you have to stop the lust. You have to take away. So this is called kama. Kama is not just for opposite sex. It's about deep-rooted desire to get things in this material world for your happiness, right? So we have to be careful. When somebody is a devotee, he never considers his happiness before Krishna's happiness. So everybody, in this world wants more money, more enjoyment, everything, right? But if you consider, okay, if I have more money, I will give to Krishna only, not for my own enjoyment. I have no plans to enjoy for myself. Then there is nothing wrong with having money. It's not wrong, because the purpose is what? The purpose matters the most. Is it for your enjoyment or is it for Krishna's enjoyment, right? So that's what matters. So you may have desires, but if your desires are not turned into Krishna's desire, Krishna's satisfaction, then it is material lust. Then that will degrade you, right? It will either give you greed by fulfilling it, or if it's frustrated, you will be angry and sad, right? If your desires are not fulfilled, you will be angry. So that is also a problem. So every sane man should give these up, for they lead to the degradation of the soul. Soul, instead of elevating, will be degraded by these kind of qualities: lust, anger, and greed. A sane man who doesn't want to glide down to the species of demonic life must try to give up these three enemies, which can kill the self to such an extent that there will be no possibility of liberation from this material entanglement.
Prabhuji, what is the meaning for sane?
Sane means uh, sober. Sober means thoughtful. A person who is peaceful at his mind. Insane means who behaves madly. Right? Some people do crazy things in their life. Right? They lose all their stuff, or they, like, people are so crazy in this world. So that is all called insanity or craziness. A person who is sane means who thinks before he does anything, and he thinks about long-term good, not short-term happiness. A lot of people think short-term happiness. Oh, if I somehow fulfill this desire, I'm good. That is called short-term thinking. But long-term, whoever thinks long-term, they are called sane man. A sane man who does not want to glide down to the. So a person thinks, oh, if I fulfill lust and develop greed, then that will only degrade my soul. Okay, I should not act on these desires. I should rather act, for the pleasure of God. How will God be happy? When I study scriptures, when I love others, when I serve others, when I become Krishna conscious, when I fix my goal of my life, when I chant. So then you will think like a sane man, right? Because you are not this body. Whatever you fulfill as material desires for this body will only go away with this body, right? So intelligent man doesn't waste too much time in fulfilling bodily desires, right? Body is anyway temporary. Why to waste time for body's sake? So they are spiritually rich. Harinam Dhani, they are called. Dhani means, Dhanwan means rich. Nam Dhan means Harinam. So they're rich in Harinam. A spiritualist wants to become rich spiritually by chanting the holy name to their heart's content day and night. Just like a materialist works day and night to fulfill material desires and achieve temporary things in this world, a spiritually enlightened person, a spiritually awakened person, always wants to become rich spiritually. As soon as he realizes my real life goal should be spiritual richness, right? Then they will chant the holy name day and night, because that is going to give them the ultimate benefit. So until that realization comes, people are in between, right? So they are always hesitant whether God is there, first of all, and then if God is there, then what is my duty? Should I fulfill this desire, that desire? So they're never fixed in their mind, right? One second. Etair vimukta kaunteya
Etayirvimukta kaunteya
odvaraistribhirnara
Namo
Nara
atkarati atmana shreyas
Acharati Atmana
Atmana Shreyas
tato yati param gatim.
Tato yati param gatam. Gatim.
Yeah, please read.
The man who has escaped these three gates of hell, O son of Kunti, performs acts conducive to self realization and thus gradually attains the supreme destination.
So a person who escapes the three gates to hell. So the lust, greed, anger, they are like gates to hell. If you fall for one of them, where do you land? You entered a gate of hell. You'll if you enter the gate of hell, you will be going to hell. Correct? So
Separate, right, Prabhu? Is it related to anger? That is separate.
yeah, there are three gates: lust gate, anger gate, and greed gate. If you enter any of these gates, means basically you nurture these qualities in your heart, then basically these are extremely difficult to give up. That is the reason Krishna is mentioning so clearly. You have to be very careful like that. If you somehow escape this, means you somehow get rid of these three qualities in your heart, then you can then whatever actions you perform, they are conducted to self-realization. Means they will help you to achieve Krishna, right? Then your nama and everything will result in will basically help you achieve perfection. So a lot of people do spiritual, practices like chanting the holy name, hearing Bhagavad Gita, but their heart is not really fixed in them. They're always after material desires. So if desires are taking over, it takes too much time to advance spiritually. Right? So this lust they're like anchors. They're going to hold us back. As long as these anchors are holding us back, our spiritual progress is slow. Right? So as long as, for example, your home is dirty, your home is filled with all kachara things in. Can you invite anybody, any uh, like any big person to your home if your home is kachara?
No, Prabhuji.
You have to first clean up the home before you can invite. So even for Krishna to enter our heart and to act in that heart, we need to make the space clean. That space cleaning is actually cleaning up our heart. So that is the reason we chant, so that we'll clear our lust, anger, and greed from the heart. They are our real enemies. So once we get rid of these three enemies, then spiritual progress will be observed. Yeah, please read this one. This is a very important purport.
One should be very careful of these three enemies to human life: lust, anger, and greed. The more a person is freed from lust, anger, and greed, the more his existence becomes pure. Then he can follow the rules and regulations enjoined in the Vedic literature. By following the regulative principles of human life, one gradually raises himself to the platform of spiritual realization. If one is so fortunate by such practice to rise to the platform of Krishna consciousness, then success is guaranteed for him. In the Vedic literature, the ways of action and reaction are prescribed to enable one to come to the stage of purification. The whole method is based on giving up lust, greed, and anger. By cultivating knowledge of this process, one can be elevated to the highest position of self realization. This self realization is perfected in devotional service. In that devotional service, the liberation of the conditioned soul is guaranteed. Therefore, according to the Vedic system, there are instituted the 4 orders of life and the 4 statuses of life called the caste system and the spiritual order system. There are different rules and regulations for different castes or divisions of society. And if a person is able to follow them, he will be automatically raised to the highest platform of spiritual realization. Then he can have liberation without a doubt.
Yeah, so Prabhupada is talking about Varna Ashrama Dharma. So everybody's goal is ultimately to achieve perfection. No matter which Varna, which Ashrama one follows. Yeah. So ultimate goal is to get rid of these 3 enemies. That is what we are all trying to do. And we have the easiest process for that in this age. What is the process? Chanting
the holy name.
That is the best. See, in Kali Yuga, there is one great thing. So in Bhagavatam it is mentioned. Last class we were discussing in Bhagavatam. Kaler dosha nide rajan means Kali Yuga is filled with so many faults, so many problems, so many issues. But there is one great quality in this Kali Yuga. Ashtiyaka Mahad Guna. One great guna is there. One great quality is there. What is that? Kirtanad eva means just performing the kirtan of Hari. Mukta Sangha Param Vrajet. You can achieve the highest result just by chanting the holy name of the Lord. So such benefit is not available in the previous ages, in Satya Yuga, Dwapara Yuga and Treta Yuga. It's not as easy to achieve highest goal of life by just chanting the name of God, Hari. But that is possible in this age. So we should not miss this opportunity. This is like greatest opportunity of life, right? Kali Yuga is full of faults. People are very much diverted from God. But Bhagavatam says the intelligent people take to the chanting of the holy name. Intelligent does not mean material intelligence. Means how somebody can earn money. That is not real intelligence. Real intelligence is spiritual intelligence. Means understanding the purpose of life. That is, you're all really intelligent compared to most people who may be billionaires, because they don't know the purpose of life. The life ends with, like any animal, and again they'll be reborn. But in your case, you are really intelligent because you understood the purpose of life. You are now, studying Gita and chanting the holy name every day. So the intelligent people in Kali Yuga, it is mentioned that they will take to the chanting of the holy name of the Lord, and they'll achieve the highest perfection, even though they are born in Kali Yuga. Right? So if a person is able to follow them, he will be automatically rise to the highest platform of self-realization. Then he can have liberation without a doubt. Right? So that is it. Yasastra vidhim utsrajya vartate kama karata nasa siddhim avapnoti sukham na param gatim.
He who discards spiritual injunctions and acts according to his whims attains neither perfection nor happiness nor the supreme destination.
Sastra vidhim utsrajya. So a lot of people, even the so-called gurus in this world, they never refer to Bhagavad Gita or anything. They say this Kriya Yoga or that they'll give so many Sambhavi, Mahamudra. They'll just make up some names without really referring to authentic scriptures given by Veda Vyasa, right? So whatever is given in Veda scriptures, they are actually direct injunctions of Lord, right? So many people in this world, they don't follow any scriptural injunctions. They became gurus, they are very popular, they have thousands and thousands of followers, but they don't follow Bhagavad Gita or Bhagavatam or any of these bona fide scriptures given coming from 5,000 years. They just make up their own process, and what happens? It is like combination of cheaters and cheated. There are always people who want to get cheated. They want shortcuts to make, to improve their life or whatever. So there are always these people who are ready to cheat, right? They take some money and give them mantra, or they conduct some expensive pujas. Nothing really helps, right? So those who discard scriptural injunctions and acts according to their own whims, means whatever comes to their mind, they will do it. They have no rules or regulations. So what happens to them? They neither achieve perfection, they won't achieve perfection, nor happiness, nor supreme destination. If you don't follow any of this, you will neither achieve perfection, nor happiness, nor supreme destination, right? So none of this is possible. Yeah, please read. Oh, one second. Actually, this is also important.
Yeah, as described before, Shastra Vidhi or the direction of Shastra is given to the different castes and order of human society. Everyone is expected to follow these rules and regulations. If one does not follow them and acts whimsically
means whatever comes to their mind, they will not follow any rules.
According to his lust, greed, and desire, and then he never will be perfect in his life. In other words, a man may theoretically know all these things, but he does not apply them in his own life. Then he is to be known as the lowest of mankind. In the human form of life, a living entity is expected to be sane and to follow the regulations given for the elevating his life to the highest platform. But if he does not follow them, then he degrades himself. But even if he follows the rules and regulations and the moral principles and ultimately does not come to the stage of understanding the Supreme Lord, then all his knowledge becomes spoiled. And even if he aspects the existence of God, if he does not engage himself in the service of attempts are spoiled. Therefore, one should gradually raise himself to the platform of Krishna consciousness and devotional service. It is then and there that he can attain the highest perfectional stage, not otherwise.
Yeah. So one must engage himself in the service of the Lord. Unless you do that, whatever you do, those all attempts are useless. They're all spoiled, right? Therefore, one should gradually raise himself to the platform of Krishna consciousness and devotion service. It is then and there he can attain highest perfection stage. It's the simple. Just need to follow Krishna consciousness by chanting. That's the minimum. And then also offer bhoga, come to temple, do some seva. That's easy, very easy. Anybody can do. Nobody can say, I cannot do. Everybody has time to, that much anybody can do, right? Yeah.
Prabhuji, here in this summary purport, it is something is mentioned about the different castes and the order of humans and the different rules and regulations. So what does that mean, Prabhuji?
So varna and ashrama, there is 4 varnas, 4 ashramas, right? So brahmana, kshatriya, vaishya, and sudra. These are the 4 varnas. 4 ashramas are uh, sannyas, grihastha, vanaprastha, and brahmachari. Right? Brahmachari, grihastha, vanaprastha, and sannyas. So these are the four orders. Right? Four ashramas. That is four ashramas. One can be a brahmachari. So brahmachari is this is how Vedic society was organized, right? So there are four varnas and four ashramas, right? The varnas are the society divided into four categories of people: the brahmanas, kshatriyas, vaishyas, and sudras, right? And then as one grows, they are either brahmachari, grihastha, vanaprastha, or sannyasi. So all these are organized such that especially the brahmachari, grihastha, vanaprastha, and sannyasi, right? So these are organized such that one can gradually get close to Krishna during brahmachari life. He will be trained by a guru in both material education as well as spiritual education, right? So he becomes a humble servant of his guru. And after staying as brahmachari, he can do two things. One is he can dedicate all his life to God, or he can marry and serve his family and society. That is grihastha. And after 55 years, he will again give up the family life, or and then enter vanaprastha, where he can spend more time trying to for self-realization, right? And then after completely detaching himself, after 60 plus or 70 plus years, he will completely dedicate all his time for God without even having wife with him or husband with him. So that is called sannyas. But in Kali Yuga, this system is very difficult to follow. So what is recommended? Wherever you are, whatever you are, whether you are in city or in village, doesn't matter. Always keep the bhakti as part of your life, right? So sthane sthitigatam tanuman. So with your body, with your mind, if you dedicate everything to God, bhakti, if you perform bhakti like that, then you don't need to worry about what varna, what ashrama I'm following, right? So this is a general system that was working for in the previous ages, especially during Satya Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, Treta Yuga, right? But in Kali Yuga, it's all mixed and matched. There is no varnashrama system followed by anyone. So the recommended process is Daivi Varnashram. Daivi Varnashram means where God is the center. You do everything with keeping God at the center. You work any job, doesn't matter, because in Kali Yuga everything is spoiled. So you cannot follow the Brahmanical culture or Kshatriya culture. All those things are gone. So what is the only thing that is left is just following, keeping God in your life in every aspect. That is the easiest way. So we don't need to worry about what varna ashrama I belong and what activities I should perform based. So in the previous lives, Brahmana means he will be performing tapas. So in next chapter we'll discuss more of this. He will be performing yajna yagas, or teaching. Brahmana is the duty of brahmanas is to teach, right? Performing tapas. So he is more towards spiritual activities. Kshatriya means administrator, to protect other citizens. Has to have valor, strength. These are the qualities of people who can become kshatriyas. It's not like one king is there, his son only will become king forever. That is not actually Vedic system. Whoever is the most powerful, that person becomes king. It's like, can I say I'm engineer, so my son becomes engineer? Only by his qualities can he become engineer, correct? So similarly, even kshatriya clad is like that. Those who have valor, they are all kshatriyas. And then vaishyas means one who has Vanijyam mentality, business mentality. Okay? Who can, Krishi Goraksha Vanijyam means protecting cows, performing Vanijyam or business. These are the duties of, or raising crop. These are the duties of Kshatriyas. And then Sudra. Sudra means to work for others. They don't have their own business. They'll work for others. That is called Sudra class. So these are the 4 classes in which the society used to operate. Nobody ever thinks that I am better than others. Everybody is like, it's like, for a body, you require eyes, you require hand, you require leg, you require, stomach. All these are important parts. Everybody plays their role. So similarly, in the society, in the Vedic times, all these varnas and ashramas were playing role, right? But the goal of all these varna and ashrama is to achieve perfection of life, right? In today Kali Yuga, there is not such system. It's not practical. So what is practical is chanting the holy name. Okay, you don't need to worry about taking sannyas or all those things. You can achieve the same result achieved by those ages by following varnashrama, just by chanting the holy name and following devotional practices. Is that clear?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Prabhuji,
Yeah. Yes.
so God is indirectly telling us there is a caste system, it should be there.
Yes. Caste system is there. It's natural. For example, if you take 10 people, one person is very mild, very soft nature, is Brahminical in nature. Correct or not? Somebody he's like strong, he's always like a manager, he's like a boss. There is Kshatriya. So these are qualities. Even in current society, there are all these, politicians belong to Kshatriya quality, for example. Otherwise, they cannot rule, right? So that is Kshatriyas. And then there are teachers, scientists, they're all the scientific research, they all belong to Brahminical class. And then those who do business, they all belong to Vaishya class. And those who are software engineers who work for others, they're all Sudra class. So they're all there, right? So everybody is there. Kali Yuga. Right? So everything is there. But they don't follow. So in Vedic system, there is a coordinated system, and center is always God. That kind of system is not followed in today's time and days. Right? So that's why it's like there, but it's not really there, right? So it's superficial. What is more important is what spiritual practices are you doing? That is most important. Is that clear?
Okay, Prabhuji.
Tasmat shastram pramanam te
Tasmascha Prama
karya vyavastita
Karya Vyavastita
yatva shastra vidhanoktam
Jnatva Shastra Vidana
karma kartum viharhasi.
Karma Kartum
Hasi.
Hasi. One should therefore understand what is duty and what is not duty by the regulations of the scriptures. Knowing such rules and regulations, one should act so that he may gradually be elevated.
So one should therefore understand what is duty and what is not duty by the regulations of scriptures. Knowing such rules and regulations, one should act so that he may gradually be elevated. So in the previous verse, if somebody doesn't follow scripture, he will not achieve any perfection. Here it says one should understand duty, right? And what is not duty. What is my duty? I should perform as a parent, as a towards material duties as well as spiritual duties. So it's a horizontal relation. We have in this world horizontal relations. You are a parent, you are engineer, you are a teacher, whatever it is, right? So all your duties have to be performed within this world. Again, you also have a duty towards God. So your duty towards God, you have to perform chanting, you have to perform worship, you have to perform all those aspects as well. So we have duties towards the world around us, we have duties towards God. So we have to do all our duties, right? Knowing such rules and regulations, one should act such that one may gradually be elevated. So one should act according to these rules and regulations, and thus naturally one will be elevated spiritually. Does it make sense?
Mm.
Yeah. So can you read this part?
In India, there are many parts of spiritual understanding, generally classified as two, the impersonalist and the personalist. Both of them, however, lead their lives according to the principles of the Vedas. Without following the principles of the scriptures, one cannot elevate himself to the perfectional stage. One who actually, therefore, understands the purport of the Shastras is considered fortunate.
So we're all considered fortunate because we are studying scripture, right? Yeah. So
What is purport, Prabhuji?
purport means, so this is what we are reading, right? So so this is actually word to word translation. This is translation. This is the meaning of this. Purport makes us understand the content given here.
Explanation. Okay.
Detailed explanation. Yeah. So yeah. So I think that's all. So one should follow scriptures. That is the summary of this verse, right? So overall, this chapter talks about divine and demonic qualities, and talks about things one should avoid: lust, greed, anger. They are like three gates to hell, and one should follow scriptures and gradually progress spiritually and achieve perfection. So that is the overall summary, right? So for us, what is the following scripture means? We all study scripture, like you're all attending class. You can also spend some time reading Bhagavad and Bhagavad Gita. Attend as much as possible. We have Bhagavatam class on Sundays. Sorry, not Sundays, Wednesday night. I know some of you attend. So you can all attend those classes and also chant every day. That is the simplest thing you can do. It doesn't cost anything. Anybody can do every day we can do, right? Nothing restricting us. So we should do whatever is possible within our limits, right? Then slowly we'll advance spiritually and achieve perfection of life. Okay? Any questions?
Prabhuji, are you doing Bhagavatam classes on Wednesday?
Yeah, Wednesday nights, Mataji. Rani Mataji and Varalakshmi Mataji attend actually. Those.
At what? Can you send the link for me also, Prabhuji?
Yeah, I will add you to the class. It's a very wonderful class. You will all really like the content because Bhagavatam is very nectarian. What do you all say, Varalakshmi Mataji and Rani Mataji? What is your experience?
Prabhuji, I was not attending the class, Prabhuji.
Oh, you are
Wednesday. No.
Are you part of the group?
No, Prabhuji. Actually, I wanted to attend, but I think you are already started, and it's all you're already into some few chapters, right?
Yeah, but doesn't matter. Bhagavatam is nectarian. You can start anywhere and everywhere.
I don't know, Prabhuji. Like, I haven't attended any time. I tried to listen your recordings of the Bhagavatam class from the beginning, so I was listening to those, but live class I haven't attended
Yeah,
any
please
time.
attend. It's a very convenient times. Wednesday after evening times, 6:30 to 7:30. That's all. our Pacific Standard Time. In Eastern Standard Time, 9:30 to 10:30. Rani Mataji attends every week.
Yeah, it is very
There
nice.
are, there are a lot more students attend. It's very active class. So I'll send the link. If you want to join, you can join. It's
Yeah, please, Prabhuji, can you add my name to the group, please?
yes. Okay. If nothing else, I have some program. Any other questions?
No, Prabhuji. Actually, I was about to ask you like what is the next book we are going to start or next class, how it will be after we finish the Bhagavad Gita.